I certainly think that, you know, a £100 million deal is almost inevitable with the way in which the transfer trends are going. The money just keeps pouring in. It keeps pouring in, I should say, at the top of a game in terms of the Premier League, and that doesn't show any signs of abating. You've got at the moment a bidding war effectively between BT Sport and Sky, just in a domestic context, and that's even before you start to consider sort of more international companies who are interested in televising the Premier League as well. So the clubs are just sitting there, just taking all this money in.
Yeah, across your email. Yeah, we just have some problems with the tone if you weren't aware of that.
The game of soccer being awash with money is nothing new. Of course, the headline numbers continue to multiply. And in a sense, of course, that's a reflection of the ongoing broadcasting deals that continue to be signed, particularly here in the UK, which has, of course, provided the Premier League clubs with a new wave of cash, which is helping finance a slew of spending across this summer.
Well, potentially it's a huge game changer. You know, no other country, certainly in Europe, really, and certainly not in Latin America, are you going to see a government quite prepared to throw money at the sport to anywhere near the extent of that the Chinese government is doing. So you've got a number of huge clubs, Evergrande, for example. Potentially, I think that this is still a long-term prospect, potentially rivaling some of the biggest clubs in Europe.
The parameters are changing a little bit, with now China also being a big global player in the soccer market. And in that context, I think it's interesting that the Chinese authorities have now shown some interest in soccer, and particularly the leadership, in an effort to try and improve the fortunes of the national team. Now, whether you can do that by buying foreign talent, I think is a very debatable point, and I suspect will be rather self-defeating, but more money coming into the game will merely add to the zeros on the bottom line of some of these deals. And of course, it will no doubt make players and or agents infinitely richer, and probably will mean that those that play the game and those that watch the game will be increasingly distanced.